This is Dr. Michael Schaefer. Most of my friends and my students call me Doc. It's not very original, but that's kind of what I'm stuck with. So, today is the first of what I hope will be many little book talks on books that have been very popular with boys. And so I hope to share a number of those with you. And the concept of book talks, by the way, is kind of different from what you grew up with in school thinking about a book report. This is not a book report. This is book talk. And so I'll kind of go through this process with this particular book that I'm going to use today. It's one of my absolute favorite boy books. And I will tell you that certainly it is available for anyone to read. However, you will soon see very easily why this is a very popular book with boys. So, here we go, and I'm going to start out. This book is the 100 Most Disgusting Things on the Planet. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is that this book is written by Anna Claiborne, and it is published by Scholastic. And this happens to be one of the most frequently given away books that, as a principal, I ever gave away. I could never keep a copy of this book in my office because I'm kind of a sucker that anytime somebody asks for a book, I try to give them one. Also, as a principal, instead of giving out things like pencils and other trinket kind of things, I always kept a couple crates of books around that were new books that I could give to students when they came in for a birthday or something. So this particular book, 100 Most Disgusting Things on the Planet, is one of my favorites personally. Why is that true? Because as a guy, I have to admit it, I kind of like gross things. So this is the kind of thing that you would see if you were watching a television show and some of this stuff came up. You would either be completely intrigued by it, or you would say, I am not going to watch that. Tell me when it's over. Okay, we've probably all done that. And as we start to look through this book, there are all kinds of fascinating things. And I'm going to show you this just as a couple of examples. And I'll try to hold it in such a way so that you can see this. This particular page that I'm showing you right now talks about slime. Now, this is not the kind of clean slime that you see on Nickelodeon. This is the real stuff. Pond slime. That if you could reach your hands into it and hold it up, it would run through your fingers. I know, gross. But gross is kind of cool. I'll give you a couple other examples. How about a tongue-eating louse? Wait a minute. You mean there's something that actually eats tongue? Let me read this to you. The 1.5-inch louse, which looks a bit like a woodlouse, invades the fish by swimming in through its gills. It attaches itself to the fish's tongue and sucks blood from it until the tongue drops off. Then the louse clings to the muscles at the base of the tongue and becomes a new tongue for the fish. It feeds on the fish's blood and body fluids. Here's the real question. Could you have that happen to you? Ha! In order to find the answer to that question, you're probably going to have to read the book. I would encourage you, take the time, find the book. If you're a parent and you're watching this, you may be saying, okay, wait a minute. This is a book about the things that I don't want my son to talk about. I don't want my son thinking about gross things. I would prefer if they thought about things that are pleasant and nice. You know, the kind of books that I read when I was a kid. I read those books too. I read every single one of the Hardy Boys. I read the Tom Swift books. I read Nancy Drew books. I read The Three Investigators. There were all kinds of books, and Encyclopedia Brown. Let's not forget Encyclopedia Brown. But if you want guys to read, you kind of got to go to where they are. And I love that thought because sometimes we get the idea that the only kind of books that students should read, or boys especially should read, are those books that are great classic books. Well, in my mind, this one is a classic. So I hope you will take the time to get this book, give it to your son, your nephew, your grandson. It doesn't matter what grade they're in. They're going to find this book to be one of the most fascinating books they've ever read. I dare you to try it.